everyone. It's summertime. I'm Summer Hill, and I'm here with, I guess I could call you my mentor, Darren
I
Haynes, sports
appreciate you.
anchor. Thank you so much for being here today.
Listen, when we're on social media and stuff like that, and I'm looking at some of the work that you're doing. I hope I didn't just break the mic. I came here and I broke the mic on your show. You interned for us in DC, WSA 9, and we helped you try to get to that next step. And I'm like, okay, she has her own show. And then I was like, I'm coming into town. I need to be on Summertime. So I appreciate you for having me. This is pretty cool. This is dope.
No, it's so funny because you remember when you helped me with that video?
I do.
That was like really my first like in front of the camera experience. I really had to get comfortable. That's hard.
But you made it look easy. The thing is the best way to learn how to do something is by doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the opportunity to utilize a studio that we had and to take advantage of it, which a lot of interns, unfortunately, they don't.
Yeah.
Like you're there, like you're on the football field. So pass the ball, catch the ball.
Just do it. No, but that's not lost on me. I really appreciate your support and your help with that because you had a whole.
But you got the job too.
Yeah. No, I didn't get that one.
But you got something.
Yeah,
you got something. I helped out in something.
I kept moving. Okay, 13 Emmys. Let's talk about it. How does that feel?
So I'm kind of like this. You see, notice I'm blushing. I don't like to like brag.
Why?
I don't know. My mom raised me like that. And then my dad is always like the ones like, okay, you got one, you got to go get two, go get three. That's where like that drive comes from my
13?
father. Yeah, but see, the first one's the most memorable one because I lost so many before that.
Oh.
I remember the day ESPN called me up. I was in my parents' kitchen. My dad was right there. I put it on speaker. I'll never forget how happy my dad was.
Really?
Oh my gosh, man.
Oh.
You see, I'm glad the camera is rolling. Oh shoot. Because I had people tell me like you weren't gonna make it. When I was in Detroit, I was working at K Jewelers and I decided to leave to get into broadcasting, to get my first broadcasting job. And this district manager, Ali Alian was his name. Seriously, I hope he's in LA. I hope he's sitting down. I hope he watches me on Tuesday night when I get back. He was like, why are you getting into the broadcasting business? The broadcasting business is too difficult. You'll never make it. Like I say that, like I heard that yesterday. And so to be there with my dad, and I don't know, it's probably one of the most proudest moments of my father, because it was my dream.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like when I wanted to play football, like imagine if I got drafted into the NFL, that was my dream. You see them, they're all at the table. We screaming, we're all like having fun. Like that was that moment for me. And my dad, I'm not making this up. We drove down to ESPN that night just to look at it. We had no badges or anything, but we drove there that night. And it was like, man, we like made it there. Yeah.
So then what's next? Like, how do you top that feeling?
So like what's the new dream? Well, one, I think my life is much better than it was when I was at ESPN. Like everything, is much more balanced. I think probably my next dream is I would love to just anchor NFL coverage, be your pre-halftime post-game show. See me on Sunday. All right, CBS Sports, NFL. Like, bam, I'm there. I'd love to do that. But even where I am right now, like I'm happy, I'm good. The family's good. The job is good. The pay is good. Except for my wife who's trying to spend a whole bunch of money. My wife calls me cheap. I'm frugal.
Are you?
I'm frugal. You pay for what you need, not what you want. My wife buys what she wants and what she wants, and
as she should.
Listen. Don't.
I disagree. I'm sorry. I agree that you should get what you want. You work so you can do what you want.
True, but I also like to. You ever watch us on House Hunters? You should watch our house. Yeah, you should watch our House Hunters episode. That is a perfect example of how we get down when we're buying things. Seriously.
Okay,
like, why are we at this house? Why does it cost $5 more than the other place?
Did it for LA?
No, no.
Oh,
And I don't think we can because Paramount. I don't think
oh,
will
okay.
will let that happen.
I'm
Um,
gonna watch it.
but yeah, yeah. Watch House Hunters. I'll give you a perfect
I
example.
will. What was the first one for?
Best sports anchor.
Okay.
Yeah. I that one meant the most to me because many years before that, I kept losing. I thought I'll go to the Emmy Awards. I'm like, oh, this is a fire. This is going. And the winner is
You already spoiled.
John Doe. And so those, yeah, those, the ones I lost bothered me a lot. And when I got that first one, then it turned into I never want to lose it again.
Mm,
And so I made it like a goal of mine to never, ever, ever have someone take the best sports anchor award away from
mm.
me.
So you've won it ever since?
Yeah.
Wow, check
Yeah.
you out. What do you think makes you a good sports anchor?
Being yourself. And it took a while to get there. Like I worked in, geez, Alpena, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, Detroit, San Antonio, Harlingen, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts. I don't think I really became my true self. I was always creative and doing different things, but really being able to feel comfortable and knowing no matter what X, Y, and Z says, I'm still gonna do it my style, feel comfortable. Because if you're comfortable doing what you're doing, you shine so much more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get that until after leaving Boston. And then at ESPN, they had a way of doing things, and like anchoring Sports Center is a dream come true. I felt like I was an octagon and Sports Center was a box.
Mm.
And so it was hard to fit into that spot. And so when they did all the cuts in 2017 and I came here to DC, they're like, Darren, we know where you came from. Just do you. That's when the floodgates opened. And that's when I won my first Emmy Award.
Oh, okay, so they
See
let
what
you
I'm saying?
spread your
It was
wings.
yeah, it was almost like you lost your dream. The dream you lost a dream job, but yet it literally opened up the door for something so much bigger and
Mhm.
greater. And I feel like my platform is so much bigger than it was when I was even at ESPN.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you could be yourself.
absolutely.
So where'd you grow up?
A town called Woodbridge, New Haven, outside Woodbridge, New Haven, Woodbridge, Connecticut, right outside New
Okay,
Haven,
okay,
New
okay.
Haven,
And
Connecticut.
how do you feel like Woodbridge contributed to who you are?
So born in Hamden, raised in Woodbridge. My mom and dad, well, mom had me in the church.
Hmm.
Your boy used to sing in the
You was a
junior
church
choir,
boy.
youth choir. I sang in the college choir. My dad had his own construction business, which was like one of the only like black owned construction businesses in New Haven.
Hmm.
Um, and what my parents did really well, my mother's a teacher for 50
Mm.
something years. So I
Me
had the
too.
work ethic of my dad and also in the community where you're in the inner city, but also my mother who was a teacher in the suburbs. I was going back and forth. And I actually went to a high school, Amity High School. I was like one out of like 9 black people there, and I used to hate it.
Mm.
We used to the few black people used to hang by the elevator. Used to call it the ghetto. We used to hate it.
No
We didn't.
way.
We used to hate it, um, and then you'll play like the high school that you should have went to, and then they're like, "Oh, you're a sellout." But then I look at what my mother did, and I really appreciate her for putting me in that place because I don't know if I'll be where I am today if I went to the inner city school.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing now, and I go back to that school. I'm in their Hall of Honor, and
Oh,
you look at you
sweet.
seriously look at all the
You're
people. You look at all the people, and there's only one person of color on there. But I was the first person on there, and that meant a lot to me because I
Mhm.
remember the great things that I went through my high school, but then also just like those challenges of just being like one of the only black people in that high school.
Mm. Isn't it so interesting how, like, when we were younger and our parents would tell us to do stuff and we didn't get it, but now, especially you as a father, you're like, okay, I get exactly where they were coming from.
Yeah, I yes. And I didn't give much pushback to my parents. Well, that's I'm lying on TV. I gave a little bit of pushback. I felt like I was a man. Um,
Right.
my parents just kept me active in a lot of things, and what I always appreciate, they never were like, "You got to do this, you got to do that." They just realized what I like to do, and then
Mhm.
they supported it. I
Mm.
played a whole bunch of different sports. Matter if I was playing badminton or karate or football, they always supported. They always wanted me to go out and do something. Then I'll figure out my way from there. And then my mother being a teacher, like schoolwork got done. If there
Yeah.
was a B,
Right.
like you're grounded. So I was good in education and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of stuff comes from my
So you
parents.
had freedom there too. So you operate best when you are in your freedom element.
Uh, yeah, but I also, I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Mm.
Yeah,
So why'd you choose Wayne State?
it's a great question. So before the whole like transfer portal stuff, I was like, I'm the original transfer portal guy. Football paid for everything. That was a
For
full ride
football.
scholarship. Went to University of Rhode Island. Majored in biology. I am a science.
What?
I am a science
I
nerd.
never
Don't
knew
test.
that.
Don't listen. Biology, astronomy, and chemistry. Don't test me.
Really?
Shout out to all the college kids who used to cheat off my chemistry test. Glucose C6H12O6. Meiosis,
Okay. How did you
mitosis.
get into journalism?
Transferred from the University of Rhode Island, went to the University of New Haven. Actually, there was a football coach. He's actually the assistant head coach for the Saints. He was the head coach at University of New Haven. He is in the Hall of Fame at Rhode Island. He's like, come to New Haven. We played D1 schools just like Rhode Island, but we beat them. And you can play right away. I went there. I'm in their Hall of Fame now too. I see. I'm now. Yeah. You open up the can of worms of Emmy Awards. Now I'm bragging.
You should.
But seriously, there's all these blessings. But the thing is, at the time, they didn't have an undergraduate education program because I wanted to be a science teacher. And then literally my mother, this is old school though. Like we didn't have to like register online like you do. We had to like go to the school and like I think like circle the boxes of what you're going to major in. Yeah, it's old school. Don't. I'm like 2 years older than you. And my mother was like, "Hey, you used to do this radio station at Rhode Island called Smooth Groove in the afternoons, play like all the old school hits, Jodeci and stuff like that. And you play football. Why don't you get into like something like sports broadcasting?" Now
So
my
mama knew.
mom wants 10% of my check. Like she
That's right.
she opened up the can of worms. So I went to school there.
Wow.
And then they dropped the football program.
Oh my gosh, while you were there?
Yeah,
At Wayne State?
no, this was at the University of New Haven.
Okay.
They brought it back, but there's so many different reasons why they dropped the program. But I had a year of eligibility. I'm like, I'm not gonna give up my football career yet. So then some coaches from Wayne State came out. They're like, "Hey, we're in Detroit." I'm like, "Yeah, I never heard of y'all, but you guys are in Detroit, being a sports anchor, Lions, Pistons, Red Wings." I was like, that's a great place for an opportunity for my career. And so I went. Football career, broadcasting career, skyrocketed.
How was Detroit for you?
Well, I got robbed first time.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah. So first, well, they stole my bike first. I had a bike that I was gonna ride on campus. They stole that. I was dumb. I should have never. Like really, I'm gonna put like a little basic like Dick's Sporting Goods like chain on my bike outside my apartment and think it's not gonna stay there. They took that, and then we had my best friend Floyd, who's now like the VP of Frito-Lay, like PepsiCo, like way up there. We went to our winter workouts and we came back and like all our stuff was gone.
What?
They left my laptop though.
Oh, that was nice.
I had all the songs.
I wonder
so
why
on there.
they left the laptop.
So they hit up his room first, so like the living room, but we barely had any stuff in the living room. That's where old friends used to make fun of us, like, "Man, you have nothing in your living room. You're sleeping on air mattresses." And so when my Floyd and I, we always get together, like, "Man, remember we used to sleep on air mattresses?" They got his room first. And I don't blame him. He had all the shoes. He had all the Jordan.
Cool
Yeah, he had all the jerseys and stuff like that. My room was like laptop, air mattress, and some gold boots or something like that.
Let me leave.
Yeah, my room wasn't too appealing. But yeah, but let me stop talking about the negative stuff about Detroit. That's now like a second home. Some of the people who I met there, I go there for Thanksgiving. It is literally like a second home.
I love Detroit culture, but I will say I did get my tires stolen when I lived in Detroit. And I never knew that was I didn't know people stole tires off the car.
So, well, here's the thing. When you don't have that much money, so I'm driving a Honda Accord. Man, I lost, my tires are gone. My rims are all messed up. Man, you have the same Honda Accord and you don't have the wheel locks on there. You just take it off, put your car on bricks, and now you have brand new tires on your Honda Accord.
I literally never maybe wake up my car's gone, but I never would have thought I'd wake up and my tires would be gone.
When people are desperate, people do crazy things.
Yeah. But I do like the culture of that city. Like, I feel like it's like, you can't go anywhere in America and see people with fur, mink coats with the hat, with the
they rock it out there. I
like it.
I'm not a fur guy. I mean, listen, so my thing was always like, I'm an East Coast dude. I'm in Detroit. And it's like, okay, all right. They can wear their what the jackets they had? They're not
Oh,
like
the
AV.
Pelly?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like those like stitch whatever. I'm like, nah, nah,
That wasn't you?
nah. No, the fur coats, the gaiters, I don't do that.
Mm,
Nah, I'm straight.
mm.
But what was so beneficial in Detroit is literally like Wayne State was literally like a HBCU, but it wasn't an
Yeah.
HBCU.
And it's
Like the
great
minority
too.
was the majority in Detroit.
Mm.
So as a Q, brother of Omega Psi Phi, like we were everywhere. We
When
were
did you pledge? At Wayne State?
no, I was at University of New Haven.
Okay, what made you choose Omega Psi Phi?
My mother's a Delta.
Okay.
My mother's out.
Is
Like
she?
my mother's like 80 and she's and like she like mom, why are you going to the step shows? Mom, it's Howard homecoming. You shouldn't be there.
No, you
Um
should. That's what you should. You
my
should.
mom
You gotta
listen,
stay true to it.
my mother's so out and so she would do a whole bunch of different things and I saw the cues and I thought they were kind of cool. And what I did was I saw a lot of athletes that were cues. And then I was like, okay, I
That's
guess
true.
athletes are cues. I'm young. But then as when I got to college, I'm like, Kappas, yeah, I'm not going to parties and doing that. I'm not doing that stuff. Sigmas, they copy all the cues, what they do. The iotas, we trying to find where they are.
Mm.
I'm hating on
You're
all
right,
that one.
real bad.
The alphas, I guess they're cool. You know,
Mhm.
they hold it down in college, but I still think the omegas are the most successful as they get
To
older.
this day?
We gotta learn our way. We go through our ups and downs through
Yeah.
college,
What do you
then
think
we
is
learn our way.
like what do you think about the Omega culture right now? And be for
Um,
real.
the omega culture right now. Can I plead the fifth?
No.
It's all positivity. It's all great things. We're doing great things in the world.
If you had
Listen,
to
we
plead the
try.
fifth, that's all you gotta say.
We do try. We do a lot of things to help out the community. I think when the world is changing, I think when the younger version of the Omegas, they're new bats. Think about it, like any when you're raising your kids, like they're
Would you tell your
growing up in a
son
different
to?
era. What I if my son wanted to pledge Q, I will let him pledge Q. I'm not gonna force him. So if he came back, I said I want to be a cap. I'll be like, really, dude? But I won't. But I'll support whatever he has to do. I think that's where it kind of comes from with my parents. Um, but if he does go through Omega, I have to have him go through the right way,
Mm.
the right chapter.
Okay, I
Yeah,
won't ask any more questions.
yeah,
I won't
yeah,
ask any more.
yeah.
But speaking of your son, that's one thing I remember about you. Like when we were doing my little newscast thing, your daughter called your aunt. Hold on, I got to take this call. Like you are very involved and such a great father. So how is it having a new son now too?
I'm the greatest dad 2.0. Um, Man, that's so they're so different. It's so weird. See, it got me smiling now. It's
That's
because
okay.
I grew up I was a daddy girl.
Yeah,
Like daddy,
a
excuse
girl,
me.
a
I'm a
girl
girl
dad.
dad. I was a girl dad. And everything was like, all right, you know, paint my toenails, do all that type of stuff. Let me do your hair. I know I'm not good at doing it. Now it's like, daddy, don't do my edges. I'm like, let me try to do your edges. Let me get the brush.
You try to do her
Yeah,
edges?
she won't. Yeah,
How old is she now?
she's 11,
Wow.
going on dang on 18. Um, so being that girl dad for so long, and now all of a sudden having the son.
Mhm.
Well, one, he's like me.
Is
He's
he?
running all over the place. He's 14 years old and he's like Usain Bolt. 14 months and he's like Usain Bolt.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
but I right now I'm enjoying those daddy moments because he's just a kid and but I do picture like I'm always like visualizing like man, what is it gonna be like? Does he want to play any sports? Does he want to like play an instrument? I used to play the trumpet. Like, does he want to play the trumpet like one day? I can't wait to teach him that. Like when he grows up, suppose he wants to play basketball. Am I gonna be that dad when he's now 16 years old and he's beating me? And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm getting old. Um, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. But I have to give a shout out to Teddy. Like
Mhm.
she's been home with him and he knows sign language, Spanish.
Okay.
I'm not making this up.
I know. I saw
Like,
on the video.
and what's oh she does
That's so
put yeah,
cute.
yeah. So and he has this cute thing right now where she's still breastfeeding, and so he'll do like the signal for
Mhm.
milk, and then like please is this, and he's like milk, and then he hits this like high note, please,
Oh.
like hold it like please. it yeah, it is the cutest thing because literally he hits it like you're in a choir
She's like,
like
you can't say no.
please and drags it out. But
That's
anyways,
so cute.
yeah, It's been a true blessing. It took a while it was a journey to
Yeah,
get him here.
I didn't know
Yeah.
she was having issues with fertility. How was that process?
Well, it's a long process. Just one we went like 4 or 5 years,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
what's going on. And that's why I'm big in being vocal about it because it's not just women, it's men too.
Mhm,
Like, and I think a lot of times people look at it, okay, if there's infertility, it's the woman,
mhm,
but it also could be the man too. And we just don't talk about it enough because I think we're in a industry where, you know, our parents, they want to be grandmas,
oh
so
my
your
gosh.
friends, like when you get married, they're like, okay, you're married. When are you gonna have a kid?
Right.
You gonna have a
What's
kid? We gonna
next?
um not knowing that a woman could be dealing with PCOS. Maybe for some particular reason she's having fertility issues because of something maybe with her ovaries. Or maybe she's having multiple miscarriages,
Mhm.
and you have this pressure from the world, not knowing that sometimes it's not easy for people to have kids, and you'll be surprised how many people will go down to Shady Grove fertility clinic because they're having issues with fertility.
Mm.
There are a lot of people, and the more I talk about it, next I'm talking about 4 guys, and they're like, yeah, I had to do that too. It's
Really?
very common, but we never talk about it. And I think it's something that's really important to create awareness because that
Mhm.
pressure that people put on each other is really, really hard.
So what do you think?
Hold on. And then you have this. We just had our kid. Oh, so when are you gonna have another one? And
Mm,
my wife and I look at each other like,
dang.
yo, we just
If only
like
they
if
knew.
only we like the needles every
Mm,
morning. Yo, I listen, don't have someone draw blood. Don't be in a room with someone draw blood for me. My manhood, like I turn it,
really?
yeah, yeah. I like, yeah, yeah. And then no, please don't.
Oh my
But
gosh.
the needles every single morning, I
Dang.
couldn't do that. And so that's a
She had to take the needles or you?
nah,
Oh.
she didn't.
So
Yeah.
what do you think needs to change about like either the language or the culture around that? Like what do you wish was different in order for it to be
I,
more
I think it's just talking about it, holding conversations about it, making it where it's more of a norm. I think,
mm,
you know, we had a time here in DC where, like during the George Floyd protests, I think what was really important was allowing people to understand that, even though we're different, our differences should be embraced rather than scrutinized, and to have a better understanding of who we are, where we come from. Um, and so allowing that conversation to have educates people and they have a better understanding. So now when you're educated, you have a better understanding, you will converse with somebody differently that maybe when it comes down to, oh, you got married, you won't say, so when are you gonna have a
right,
kid?
right.
You may leave it up to them to wait until they say, hey, we're looking at having a kid, or something like
Mhm,
that. It's just having a better understanding of that people can receive things in a different way.
mhm.
And so sometimes it's better to just leave it out if you have doubt.
Yeah. So how did you all get through that process? Because you said 4 to 5 years.
So you all right. So check this out. I had to take her off my work insurance, put her on her own insurance because my work insurance didn't pay for IVF.
Mm,
And so that's money up there, but saving money because the insurance took care of a lot of it. And I could be wrong. I think they allow maybe 3 or 4 transfers, meaning like you have the egg and then you see if that you get pregnant from that. We ran out.
mm.
And the doctor was like, come on in, we'll do all the testing. And they prepared Teddy to do another transfer. And then they realized, wait, your insurance says you ran out.
Oh no.
So real talk, I think they made a mistake because they already started giving her all the stuff to prepare for it. And so what they just did, I think was probably like, so
Hush
they didn't get
money.
in trouble. We'll just start all over again for you. So it was like
Oh
on them.
wow.
And that very first one that we weren't supposed to have through insurance that we would have had to pay it out of pocket is Phoenix Maxwell.
Aw, you have a miracle baby.
Mhm.
So what has fatherhood taught you about yourself and about the world?
Love, what true unconditional love really
You didn't
feels
know
like.
before a child?
Well, you think you have your little high school sweetheart. I
Right.
love you. Um, but I think that the love you have for your kid is the closest to unconditional love you can get.
Mm,
I love my wife, but the love that you have for a kid is a little bit different because you'll stop everything for your kid. My wife, I'll stop everything too, but she may call me up. I need you to do this now, and I'm gonna be like, all right.
right.
Joelle says something. I'm there. What do you need, baby? It's Yeah, that's my that's love for me. And so now I have a guide to now I can compare it to different things on how
Mm,
close is this love, or if I say I love you, how close are you to this now new standard or
mhm.
what I consider like the real true unconditional love.
Do you think fathers have to learn or grow into love like that? Or do you think right when the baby was out, it was just there?
So I can only speak for myself
Okay.
because there are some dads who just are not in the picture. So I'm like, what happened?
Right.
When my daughter was born, I was hooked from
It
day
was
one. Oh,
instant.
I was from day one,
Oh,
from day one,
that's so beautiful.
day one.
Okay, so then that really breaks my heart how, she was moved out of state and you had to go through all of that with the governor.
Oh, you want to talk about
Tell
that?
me about
Okay, all
that.
right, cool. So there are a lot of co-parenting situations where you have like a custody or like who has who where in there,
Mhm.
and you have to follow by that. And there's only so much I can share, but you can't move out of state unless both parents agree. And that wasn't the case in my situation. And so what I did was, obviously my daughter's in Austin, Texas. There's nothing I can do about that. I hate that. I hate the fact that I'm not there with her. The judge can say, "Well, you have her every Christmas or Thanksgiving
Mhm.
or summer." I'm not that kind of dad. I'm the dad that shows up on a Tuesday, like, "Hey, girl, I'm picking you up from school. Let's go get some ice cream." That's the
Mhm.
dad I am. So what we did was there was a whole bunch of different people where we basically got a law passed that if any in the state of Maryland, I can't not for DC or Virginia, hopefully something like that is in place or will be in place. So when there is a parent, any parent, man or woman, who decides to leave the state, there has to be some type of hearing before that happens.
Mm.
The thing with me, I tried to do like these emergency hearings and got denied 4 times. And then this was in July. And then finally had the court date in January. And by that time, all right, blah, 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 this is wrong. This should have never happened. But my daughter's already been in school in Austin, Texas for a full half a year. And it's not in the kid's best interest to take her out of that school to then bring her back and put her in another school. Um, that sucked. You're not
Yeah.
about to get me to cry over my daughter up in here. Yeah,
It's
that
okay.
that sucks. So I'm glad that bill passed and that laws have been in place since October. But I can't lie and tell you that when I see people take advantage of that particular law or that's in place to help them out, or I'm in Los Angeles right now and there's a Lakers player that just received custody of his kid for different reasons. And I sit back and I never wanted to be like, give me the kid by myself. I always wanted to be 50-50. But to see a father actually do the right thing and, you know, have a judge rule a certain way, which is fair,
Mhm.
kind of makes me a little jealous.
Mhm.
But I have to also understand, like, I guess I was that sacrificial lamb. So the other men, the other parents and stuff like that, or kids, because it's always them first, will have a better situation. Um, after I went through my
Yeah.
horrible one.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm still gonna be number one dad. Yeah, Joelle comes here in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
good. And you all are going on a little tour.
Shoot, we're flying out here.
Oh, really?
Oh, we hang with her friends. Then we're going to the water park. Then she wants to drive up to New Jersey, go to Six Flags Great Adventure. Then wants to go to Six Flags New England when we go to
Oh
Connecticut.
my
Like,
gosh.
but we have a discount through Paramount. I work with
Oh,
Paramount, so
good.
yeah, so it's like super cheap. She don't know that though.
It
So it's
doesn't
yeah,
matter. It
it's
doesn't
super
matter.
cheap.
So, have you seen the impact of this new law? Like, has dad reach out or moms reach out to you like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so
No,
much."
no. When it first got passed, then I mean, I was overwhelmed with the amount of responses that I received. But I have not heard like a story yet where someone was like, "Hey, man, thanks to you,
Mm,
this happened." Now, remember, it's only been since October,
mhm,
so 2 years from now, it may be totally different.
mhm,
Sometimes custody cases go a long time, so I mean, who knows if a man or a woman, mother or father, is allowing that to work in their favor, that's great. That's great for them 'cause I know how it feels to be on the bad side of that
Yeah, yeah.
when you didn't do anything bad.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Well, shout out to you for putting that in place or working with the governor to put that in
Yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah.
So you moved to LA.
I did.
How is the West Coast? East
Look,
Coaster?
why is it so gloomy and dark outside here?
I
I'm not used to
know.
this. Oh, the sun is
It's
usually shining. How come it's
right.
not 80 degrees here? Where am I? Oh, we do have my palm trees.
Oh, so you like the weather.
Huh?
You like the weather.
Absolutely.
And what else do you like about
I
LA?
like walking out of my house and walking down my driveway and I have palm trees right there. I
Mm,
like looking in the distance and I
sound
see
like
the
life.
mountains. Yeah.
Wow. Do you
I, li-
miss the East Coast?
I miss the people.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the people. I don't here. We're from this area, right? When we see palm trees, that usually means what?
Vacation.
Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on vacation. Like,
Every
I'm on
day.
vacation every day. I'm
Oh
going
my
to work. I'm
God.
on vacation. I'm going to
Wow.
church. I'm on vacation. And then the terrain is so different. Like Joel's big on this, and that's also part of the things we're going to be going to. Um, you can literally, even though we're not doing this, but I did. You can literally go to the beach, and it's 80 something degrees, and then drive 2.5 hours, and you can go skiing in the mountains.
Mm.
I didn't go to the beach, but I did drive and I was like, oh, okay, it's 80. And I went skiing that day and came
No
back.
way.
Hmm.
Wow. So
Right.
you prefer LA over the East Coast?
If I had to judge it by just like what I'm seeing in the weather, absolutely. Wow, you
Wow.
wouldn't want to be in the sunshine
I
and everything.
do. I
Yeah,
do. I'm working
exactly.
on it.
Ex-
I really do.
But I miss the people. I miss
Yeah.
my mom and dad are close. I miss them. I'm so used to everything out here where all the states are together. You can go to different
Mm-hmm.
places. I do miss that. Um,
How's the culture in LA?
it's different than here.
Mm-hmm.
It is more cutthroat.
Mm.
But I feel like that's the vibe there because I mean that's the entertainment place where you got to figure out your way to get to where you need to go and can't let someone hold you back from that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm still learning,
Mm-hmm.
but I am going to lean on what I know, what I'm good at in my career, and allow that to propel me to a different level. But the people are different out there. Great people, but they are
Just
different.
different.
Yeah, they're different in here. Yeah, yeah.
So I know that like WSA 9, they gave you a lot of freedom. Like you were on there hopping, like sharing your stories, like doing everything. Do you have that same freedom now with your new job?
Absolutely,
Oh, good. So you
absolutely.
like the job out there.
Oh, the career move. The career move was a very very smart career move,
Mm.
like hands down. And going back to my old job, WSA, it's the people. I love the great people, but just looking at what we cover and how we cover it, when you compare the two, in DC, I had a show 2 minutes at 6, 2 minutes at 11. In LA, we have a hit at 5, hit at 6, hit at 9, half hour show at 10:30, half hour show at 11:30. We're partners with the Chargers. I'm flying on the charter team plane with them,
Oh,
getting
cool.
fat.
Oh,
To
good.
go on the team, listen,
Good.
no,
You
seriously.
eat good?
You look at the menu, it has like lobster, shrimp,
Shut
like
up.
steak.
No
I am
way.
not lying. And the thing is, you get on the team plane and they feed you. We have like they treat you like football players. We have all this blah 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 food, and you're like, oh my gosh, I never had the crab cakes. Let me get the crab cakes. And then
Wow.
you're in flight, and then the lady comes, well, you have this so and so menu. Oh my gosh, they have
Full menus
this.
on the
Yeah, they
plane.
have this steak, this, and you're like, I can't go without going to steak. And then you eat the steak.
Wow.
Then you get off the plane. Then they give you more food, and then the game's over, and they're giving you like it could be like barbecue or something when the game is over. Then you get back on the plane and say, like you can
I may
really
need to switch and get into
no
sports because
listen
I like to
listen
eat.
they you can get seriously fat if you're
Wow.
not working out traveling on the team plane. But it's it's a great thing and like you don't have the flight attendants like put your seatbelt on,
Right,
put your
right.
whatever tray up. It's like hey, I'm here.
Oh my gosh, must be
So
nice.
it's a cool experience traveling on the buses, getting the police escort everywhere.
Mm,
Something I've never experienced. I've been in the business 20 years
mm.
now. I've never had a partnership with an NFL team where I'm flying on the team plane with them, going to their games. Totally different experience.
But you're due. Like it's time. It's time for
Yeah,
that.
but that I never had that here in
Mm,
DC. I
mhm.
didn't have all the shows that I have now in DC. We we're part of the Big Ten now is on CBS.
Okay.
Like I have a executive producer. I didn't have that here. Like I
Really?
got a
Oh,
tech.
you were. Didn't you do it yourself?
I had to do everything by myself. So check this out. In DC, I had myself and Charlotte McBride
Mhm.
and a producer who was kind of like part time. We'll say that's 3 people. I'm not even making this out. I'm going by like the desk. Here are my producers: Patrick, Mo, the other Patrick, Lambo, Naldo, Gordon, my EP, Armin. Those are just the producers. And then I have myself, Jamie,
What?
Jim, and Chris are the
So all you have to
anchors.
do is show up and work. And
But but I don't because I
trying to get that Emmy.
well, yeah, I can say try to get that. I think I hold myself to a different standard than I don't like being like everybody else.
Mhm.
Um, so if someone, this is the example I used to always give. If someone's bench pressing and they do 300 pounds 8 times, I'm gonna go in there and try to do it 11.
Mhm.
And what I also try to do is I try to implement my style into their shows, and they don't know, they're still trying to learn me, and so will learn about me and how I do my shows. And so I'm very involved. I have my own office, but I never sit in there.
What?
I'm always with the producers. I never say. I swear. If you go look at my desk right now, it still literally has the box that I brought in that I posted on on Instagram. Me walking in, that box is still there. They didn't even unpack it.
Oh my
Family
gosh.
pictures are still in the box. I sit with the producers. The communication works better. But I didn't even get to the PAs yet. Like we have about like 10 different PAs.
Just for your show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I
And
wish
here's
I had all this.
and here's our own point. My news director, old news director here, Carrie's gonna be like, why you keep talking about us? When we had to travel somewhere to work, you give the reason why, but it was, money is tight, so we got to figure out and kind of give them a reason why it's important to go. Like I have an EP who's doing all the work. I gotta like seriously, if I got my phone right now, I got a text message, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. Hey, we already got you approved. You're going to the USC Michigan game out in Ann Arbor at like end of
What?
September. Dude, it's May.
Oh my
Like, so
God. That's
things are already like set and in place. Big difference. Sports
Mm.
capital of the world.
Mm.
I
So
have
you
two
have
of everything. I have
Oh.
LeBron James right there. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go to the Laker game today. I'm gonna go to the Dodger game. I have Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts. Like,
must be nice.
I didn't even talk about the Clippers, Kings, like USC, UCLA. Like, I have everything there.
Right there. So, but you've grown or you've gotten a lot of benefits, but have you grown professionally, you feel like in LA?
I'm always growing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what area did I grow in because I think you're just always growing. I think you're always figuring out ways to do things better, do things differently. So I do think I'm probably a better anchor than I was a year ago.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I'm still doing the job. There are some new things that I'm doing that I didn't do before. Our NCAA coverage, like how we have our NCAA shows. That's different. We have our set on the dang on NFL field at SoFi Stadium for a post game show. I never did that. Actually, I'm wrong. I did do that in Boston when I was covering like the Patriots and Tom Brady, but I wasn't I was the reporter that, like, yeah, I just got out of the locker room. Now I'm like on the set anchoring the coverage.
Wow.
So that's different for me. But working at Sports Center, that's what we used to do all the time in studio. So it's kind of the same thing, but you're just out in the field.
Do you cover women's basketball? 'Cause that's on the
Absolutely.
come up.
Dude, Kiki Rice is out there. Kiki Rice was the baller here in DC.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I
she's
gotta
at
go to a
UCLA.
game. I
And
gotta go to a game.
have you seen Juju play yet for USC? He's
No.
this guy shaking his
I've
head
seen
like, yeah,
Angel
dude. Listen,
and Caitlin.
Juju.
That's what I need to
Just
keep
go,
my eyes on.
just Google at USC
Okay.
freshman Sierra Canyon, right, not too far from where I live at. Baller,
Really?
ball
Okay.
like
That makes me excited.
all that hype. Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark was the leading scorer in women's basketball. You know who was number 2?
Angel.
Juju. He's an angel.
All I know is Angel. I'm rooting for her.
Nah, listen.
Okay, I'll keep
And
my
she was
eyes
only
on
a
Juju.
freshman.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't sleep
I
on.
love how this is coming up now. Like this is what women's basketball needed. Some eyes on them and some money.
Oh yeah, this should happen. That should have happened a long time.
Should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, that should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah. But okay, where do you see the future of journalism going? Because it has changed even since when I was
Yeah.
interning with you all.
So that's a great question. I don't know the exact answer. What I do know is that if you, and I'm gonna speak for the news people, like on local news,
Mhm.
if we stick to the same like Trevor, Hillary's boyfriend from Fresh Prince, like, hello, I'm Trevor. How are you today? Like,
Oh my gosh, I forgot
click,
about
I'm
him.
turning you off. So what I try to do, which I still feel is a lot different than what other people do. I try to make my shows entertaining. So if you don't like sports, you still watch. I make it where I tell a different story to where I humanize the athletes. So now they become relatable and you can connect with them. And then I have my commentaries where if you don't like sports, I'm going to talk about something. Oh, here, for an example, Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Moms will always cheer on their kids when they're playing sports and stuff like that. But I twisted that and I changed it. There are mothers who will love to be in that position to cheer their kids around, getting to the whole like infertility thing. And so now I'm touching the sports audience, but now I'm hitting an audience on people who may be going through the fertility issues. So I always try to find some way to connect a non-sports fan. And then you have the social media, different platforms, and on how that's changing. Social media is a huge deal. Doing these things is a huge part of that change. Yeah, I guess I mean it's changing because local news is
Evolving.
going. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
evolving. But I like to evolve. I'm still a soft piece of clay. I haven't hardened yet.
Yeah,
So
no.
so I will adapt to that change.
Yeah, I really like how it's always so engaging, like, and it's always relatable. Like you said, like
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the mothers, because like I'm not a sports person, but I will tune into what you have going on because you have an element there that's entertaining or fun or engaging,
yeah.
and for being such a great mentor.
What
A
you got a
little
gift for me? What are these gold boots?
yes.
No, yo, got a
Oh
hat. Ah, that's
my
what's
gosh.
up. That's what's up.
Yes,
You want me to
gotta
open it? You want me to show
yeah,
it?
you can open it. But thank you so much for being here today and coming
Wait,
on my show.
first of all, I've been doing this stuff for like I said, 20 years. I never had my own dang on hat. How'd you get your own hat already?
I just did it. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. I'm working hard.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you,
For all the
Darren.
people who are listening and watching, make sure you support her for real. You have a grind that other people don't have.
Thank
Don't
you.
ever lose that grind.
I won't.
I worked alongside people who
Who
lost
lost
that
it?
grind. Yeah, and I'm just gonna go work at the bank.
No.
It will pay off for you. Next thing you know, you're gonna have sponsorships.
Amen. Say that. Amen. And hopefully I'll see you in LA soon. That's the goal.
Bet.
Thank you for being here, Darren.
Appreciate you.